But before we move on to that, to our final topic, which is gonna take up the most of the time, man, I think like we've talked about before of who we feel like is in the GOAT category of like fighting games and stuff like that. But man, I've been doing a lot of research into different players and stuff for all these tournaments and stuff. And man, like a lot, it's like a lot of the same names come up when you look for like accomplishments and stuff like that at these tournaments. You gonna see your Sonic Foxes, you gonna see your Justin Wongs, of course. Like Justin Wong, his just name is painted all over FGC history. Um, but man, I'm telling you, like another person that I'm seeing his name comes up a lot that we didn't really talk about was Chris G.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
Chris G, like his accomplishments, like with the, like I have a few of them right here. Like Chris G has the most Street Fighter game wins at Frosty Faustings with 4 championships. Like so, out of all the people that didn't play at Frosty Faustings in Street Fighter, he has the most championships. He has the most. He has 7 championships won at Frosty Faustings. Like that's the most out of anybody.
Wow.
Then him, Sonic Fox, and Go One are tied for the most Frosty Faustin titles won in one weekend. They each won 3 Frosty Faustin titles in one weekend. Then Chris G has the second CEO championships wins. He's a 6-time CEO champion. Then I'm looking at Summer Jam, and from what I've seen so far, it got to be concrete. But he's the only person at Summer Jam that had won 3 championships at one time in one weekend. Then if you go to Evo, he's also an Evo champion. One of the people that submitted his name in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like he's so diverse in so many games. Like he's winning games from like what was that game he won that I was like, that's crazy. He won a KOF 13 title at one tournament.
Yeah.
He winning Street Fighter titles, he's winning UMVC 3 titles, he won a Skirl Girls title at one tournament. Like the dude is so diverse, and it was just like I didn't really think of him at first, but like man, he's seeming like you really have to include his name in the GOAT debate. I'm sure Mr. Gamerlip could probably speak on Chris G more. He probably saw him more than I did. He was watching fighting games in that time when Chris G was like killing it. He's still killing it now. But
yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that because I mean even like his track record like the mid 2000s I'd say, or like right like the mid 2000s up until like the 2010 era, because when MK9 came out he was like doing well there. I think he was winning tournaments in that. Like he had a really good Reptile. Of course, KOF. I remember watching him play that, and at that time I was thinking like, dang, like this guy's playing like so many games. Like, and he wasn't even like the Chris G of Marvel then. Like he was playing some team, like he was good, but he wasn't like the MVC3 guy that he is now. He was playing like a Wesker, Ryu team, Hawkeye, something like that. Some kind of teams he was like really wanting to play. But the reason why he kind of switched over because he's like they just weren't really working for him at a high competitive level. And then he went to Morgan, and as the rest is history, everybody got stuck across the screen and couldn't get over there.
he's legendary in UMVC 3. I mean, to this day, like you're seeing him in tournaments, he's just legendary. Yeah. Like it's crazy the stuff that he's doing. But
and it was almost
like I said, I know them times of him with Morgan better than I do.
Yeah, it was still like dope to watch him play even before he switched to that team, because he was still doing pretty good. Like I think it was, I can't remember exactly, but I know he was playing something like Ryu, Wesker, something else. But
I'm sure the best players spar behind the scenes and stuff like that. But they can't do it now, and you can only play with people local, So just imagine there's a player who's in, I don't know, let's just say they're from a random place like Kilmichael, Mississippi. You know, they can't.
Well, if you can
they,
kill Michael, you don't have the means of internet to do that. So,
exactly. So you forced to play local, and
not
you
that you
hoping
don't
your
have
cousin
internet,
good
but
enough.
it's not that good.
You hoping your cousin good enough competition to train for the Arctis World Tour. So, so it's unfortunate, but you know, I mean, I mean, we know it's just if people find a way to exploit stuff, it is what it is. We know people are gonna do it. It sucks that it's happening for a game.
There's so many events and just like mopping the floor with like the whole bracket. But it was dope to finally see him get that title, and I'm pretty sure it was kind of like a weightlifter off his shoulder. He's like, man, I finally got one because if it was me, I'd probably think like, dang, like I'm kind of the best at this, but I don't have a title. Like the best title is the Evo title. That's literally the world title. So if I'm the
Yeah,
best, like I got to get one of these best titles, you know. So he finally got one.
and that's a testament to I've said this before on another podcast, like double elimination tournaments. You never know what's gonna happen, man. I mean, you can
Yeah,
have an off day. Your thumb could be sore. You know, you never you like you. I mean, you lose twice, you're out.
yeah,
That's it. You know, so I know it probably, like you said, like it frustrated him for a while. It eluded him that he didn't get that title. But even the VidHubs posted today, they did a excerpt or article on when he finally won his championship, and then me just going back in history, seeing like, I mean, the dude got so many accomplishments at Frosty Faustings. We did a post that basically just called him Mr. Frosty Fausting. Like he's just been dead dominant at Frosty Fausting,
yeah,
you know. And you know, a lot of people might be like, "Oh, well, that's just Frosty Fausting, bro." Like these are events that many people, hundreds of people are going to. For you to be that consistent in so many different games, like
yeah,
I don't care if you want to talk down on the level of competition of the Frosty Fawcett. That's amazing. From
yeah,
Frosty Frostings to Summer Jam to CEO to Evo, he just doing it, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
so he's
also
somebody.
had
Go
a
ahead.
had a pretty good track record in third strike, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So he I want to say I'm not too sure about his NVC2 days. I think I have heard that he was pretty solid in that, doing pretty good back when that was hot. And that also brings something to Rexon. We mentioned what was the last podcast we were talking about Justin Wong, I believe, and talking about
Hmm.
how the earlier times where it was like single elimination. Man, that's got to be wild, especially for like NVC2. That's such a wild game. I'm talking about you get hit once. You
Anything can
you
happen.
practice that whole year or whatever. You've been getting the homeboys up practicing. You get guard crushed, unblockable, and you just like I didn't get to play. Like I literally didn't get to press. I didn't get to play. So that's why I feel like even that more so adds on to just the from onto Justin Wong, but even just all those players that played back then, Sanford Kelly, uh, like the big household names that we know from NBC2, Sanford Kelly, Justin Wong, Yipes.
Yikes.
Um, who am I? I'm forgetting some other people. What's
Justin
his name?
Sanford Kelly, yipes. Um, no,
Demon Demon
Ray Ray.
Hio. Yes, his name. I
Oh,
was
okay. I was about to say Ray Ray. He was UMVC 3.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, he
Yeah.
started in UMBC. Demon Hio, Smooth Viper, all those. I mean, like the competition was so stacked. And he's just like to be that dominant. Like, yep, one. I got one chance, and I got all these titles. So, and like you said, also like you might have an off day. Your thumb hurting, your foot's itching or something like that. That's an actually matter. I ain't gonna
Exactly.
lie, man, because I remember Chris. He used to get a lot of flack for like, oh man, he complaining about his button don't work, his seat ain't right or something. And as I continue to play games and notice stuff, not having the right controller, your controller messed up, you got to use somebody else's controller, something like that, or your controller messed up, that really throws you off your game.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
times I played and like my D-pad or something's messed up, and I can't get like I'm doing the input and it just won't come out. That's so frustrating. So people used to give him flack about that. Man, Chris, you complain about this. It's like that stuff actually matters, man. You don't
Yeah.
never
I
know.
mean, it's hard at these tournaments, man. There's hundreds of people there, so many factors. It's a big event. It's all these monitors and screens. They've been running all day for 3 days a week. They didn't got hot. You know, you've been playing with the same controller consistently all weekend. And, you know, Chris G, he playing multiple different games. I mean, there's so many factors that can happen.
Yeah.
at these tournaments, and for people to just sit there and be like, man, you stay complaining, like, bro, like you never know, there's so much stuff that can go on at these tournaments and stuff like that. Like so many wonky factors that come up that you really, I mean, we know just in life in general, you can't predict everything.
Right.
And then for like to run a whole event for 3 days and all these different people are coming in and doing this and doing that and doing that. Like, I mean, it's, but like you said, I'm finally glad he was able to go ahead and get that title at in UMVC 3. But